Most people believe that muscle is built in the gym, during sets and reps, under tension and sweat. But here's the truth. Muscle isn't just built during the day, it's preserved or lost during the night. While you sleep, your body enters a profound biological process governed by the nervous system, hormones, and cellular repair mechanisms. If these systems aren't properly supported before bed, your body doesn't rebuild muscle, it breaks it down. This isn't speculation, it's science. Your evening routine, your nutritional intake, your mental state, even your light exposure, all influence whether your body preserves your hard-earned muscle or slowly lets it fade away. What happens during sleep is deeply underestimated. The body doesn't just shut down, it shifts into recovery mode, a precise, timed orchestration of hormonal release and neural recalibration. Growth hormone, for example, peaks during deep sleep. This hormone is essential for muscle repair, tissue regeneration, and even fat metabolism. But here's the problem. If you go to bed without the right biochemical signals, without the nutrients your body needs to facilitate repair, then growth hormone can't do its job. It's like sending a team to rebuild a house with no tools. The job fails. The body defaults to catabolism, breaking down muscle tissue to fuel basic functions. One of the most powerful ways to change this outcome is through targeted protein intake before sleep. Clinical studies have consistently shown that ingesting a slow digesting protein like casein, especially when fortified with the amino acid leucine, creates an overnight anabolic environment. Your muscles receive a slow and steady supply of amino acids, keeping muscle protein synthesis active while you sleep. And that means instead of breaking down, your muscles are actually being maintained or even rebuilt. The science is compelling. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that participants who consumed protein before bed showed significantly greater overnight muscle protein synthesis than those who went to bed fasted. But it's not just about food. Your nervous system plays a critical role. The last 60 minutes before you fall asleep determine how efficiently your body transitions into the parasympathetic state, which governs rest, digestion, and recovery. If you're blasting your eyes with blue light from phones or TVs, your melatonin production gets suppressed. Melatonin isn't just a sleep hormone. It's a signal that tells your body to begin repairing. Suppress that, and you delay deep sleep. Delay deep sleep, and you blunt growth hormone. Blunt growth hormone in your muscle tissue, particularly as you age, becomes more and more vulnerable to breakdown. And then there's cortisol, the stress hormone. If your mind is racing before bed, cortisol levels stay elevated, blocking melatonin and spiking blood sugar. That cocktail destroys quality sleep and contributes to insulin resistance and muscle loss over time. Instead, grounding habits like breath work, light stretching, or even a brief mindfulness session before bed can profoundly lower cortisol, reset the nervous system, and create the internal environment your body needs to repair itself. So here's the simple but vital truth. If you want to keep your muscle, if you want to grow stronger, and if you want to age powerfully, you must treat your evening routine like a sacred training session. Shut down stimulation, feed your body what it needs. Create the signals that tell your brain and body it's time to recover. Because every night, your biology waits for your decision. Will you neglect it and wake up weaker, or support it and rise stronger? The answer is entirely within your control, and it starts tonight. Every night, your body enters a deeply restorative process, one that can either build your muscles or break them down. While we often focus on training and nutrition during the day, the real transformation happens at night. The body doesn't simply rest, it repairs, regenerates, and rebuilds. But here's the hidden problem. If you go to bed unprepared, without the right nutrients, without proper nervous system cues, your body can actually lose muscle mass instead of maintaining it. This is especially critical for anyone over 30, when natural muscle-building hormones like testosterone and growth hormone begin to decline. Sleep then becomes a key opportunity to preserve strength and performance. And the actions you take in the final hour before sleep can tip the scale toward anabolic repair or toward destructive breakdown. Let's start with the role of nutrients. One of the most effective science-backed strategies for preserving muscle overnight is consuming a slow digesting protein source before bed. This isn't a fitness myth, it's rooted in multiple clinical studies. When you sleep, your body fasts. Without incoming amino acids, your muscles become a source of fuel. But when you ingest something like casein protein, particularly fortified with leucine, you extend the delivery of essential amino acids over the next 6 to 8 hours. This keeps muscle protein synthesis active and prevents catabolism. In fact, studies show that consuming 30-40 grams of casein protein 30 minutes before bed can significantly enhance overnight recovery. especially when combined with resistance training during the day. It sends a clear biochemical message to your body: we're in repair mode, not breakdown mode. But protein is only part of the equation. What your brain experiences before sleep determines how efficiently your body enters deep restorative states. Deep sleep is where growth hormone peaks. This hormone plays a massive role in tissue repair, fat metabolism, and muscle maintenance. Yet its release is highly dependent on a calm nervous system and stable circadian rhythm. If you're stimulating your brain with screens, loud noises, or stressful thoughts, you're disrupting your own biological rhythm. Blue light, especially from digital devices, suppresses melatonin, the hormone that triggers the body's shift into rest and recovery. Without melatonin, sleep is shallow, fragmented, and ineffective, and without deep sleep, growth hormone can't peak. It's not just poor sleep, it's missed opportunity for muscular and neurological restoration. Your nervous system holds the key to this entire process. That's why it's crucial to wind down in a way that promotes parasympathetic activity, the mode of the nervous system responsible for rest, digestion, and recovery. Techniques like breath work, light stretching, journaling, or even cold exposure can signal to your brain that it's safe to shut down and rebuild. One simple habit, like 10 minutes of box breathing or nasal bone breathing, can rapidly reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that otherwise blocks growth hormone and inhibits recovery. Even the environment you sleep in can impact your muscle preservation. Studies show that sleeping in a room cooler than 67 DEGF 19 DGC improves deep sleep quality, supports metabolic function, and may even promote better insulin sensitivity, which indirectly supports muscle maintenance. Pair this with total darkness, minimal noise, and a consistent bedtime, and you begin to create a neurochemical environment designed for growth and resilience. All of this points to one undeniable truth. If you want to stop your muscles from fading, your day's efforts in the gym and kitchen must be supported by what you do at night. You can lift all the weights and eat all the protein, but if you neglect the biology of recovery, your results will stall or even reverse. The body's capacity to heal and grow isn't just in response to effort, but in response to how well you sleep and how prepared you are for that. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency and intention, and every night gives you the opportunity to either build or break down. The question is, what message are you sending to your body before bed? Most people believe that building muscle is something that happens in the gym, that it's all about lifting heavy weights, pushing harder, doing more reps, and eating enough protein during the day. But science tells a deeper story, one that starts when the lights go off and the body enters its most powerful phase of transformation: sleep. What happens in the hours before you sleep and during those 6 to 8 hours of rest determines whether your body will build or break down muscle. This isn't just relevant for athletes or fitness enthusiasts, it's essential for anyone over the age of 30, where muscle loss becomes a creeping and often unnoticed process called sarcopenia. Every night, your nervous system, hormones, and metabolic systems are either working for you or against you, based entirely on how you prepare for bed. During sleep, your body relies heavily on internal resources to repair damaged tissues, consolidate memory, regulate metabolism, and rebuild muscle fibers stressed during the day. The trigger for much of this restoration is deep sleep, particularly stages 3 and 4 of non-REM sleep, where growth hormone reaches its peak. This hormone is critical. It tells your body to rebuild, recover, and grow. But this process is not automatic. It requires the right environment and the right biochemical signals. If you go to bed with elevated stress hormones, blood sugar spikes, or nutrient deficiencies, you short-circuit the entire system. And instead of entering a healing anabolic state, your body slips into a subtle catabolic state, where muscle tissue is broken down to provide energy and support for more immediate needs. That's why your pre-sleep routine must be strategic. One of the simplest yet most effective tools you can use is nutrition, specifically the type of protein you consume before bed. Fast digesting proteins like whey are excellent during the day, but before bed you want something slower, more gradual. Casein protein digests slowly, releasing amino acids steadily over 6 to 8 hours. When fortified with leucine, this becomes even more effective, as leucine is a key activator of the mTOR pathway, the primary driver of muscle protein synthesis. Studies show that individuals who consume 30-40 grams of casein before sleep experience higher overnight muscle synthesis and better recovery. What's even more compelling is that this doesn't just prevent muscle breakdown, it supports muscle gain even while you sleep. This is a strategy used in clinical settings to fight sarcopenia in older adults, and it works just as well for anyone looking to optimize their health and body composition. However, nutrition is only one piece of the puzzle. The nervous system must be in a relaxed, parasympathetic state to allow the body to fully drop into deep sleep. In the modern world, most people are chronically overstimulated before bed. Screens, emails, noise, and artificial light all trigger the sympathetic fight or flight response, keeping cortisol levels high. Cortisol isn't inherently bad. It helps us wake up, stay alert, and manage stress. But when it remains high at night, it interferes with melatonin production, the body's natural sleep hormone. High cortisol and low melatonin is the perfect recipe for shallow sleep and poor recovery. That's why calming techniques like slow breathing, meditation, or even a hot shower followed by a cool bedroom can dramatically shift your nervous system. This isn't guesswork. There's a measurable drop in cortisol and heart rate variability improvement when the body enters this calm state. The result, deeper sleep, more growth hormone release, better muscle repair. In essence, your pre-sleep routine is just as important as your training and diet. It's the final phase of the muscle building process, and skipping it means leaving recovery on the table. Whether it's proper protein intake, nervous system calming rituals, or sleep environment optimization, what you do before bed sets the stage for what your body becomes. Muscles don't just grow in the gym, they grow in the stillness of the night. When your brain is calm, your body is nourished, and your biology is primed for repair. Muscle loss doesn't happen suddenly. It creeps in quietly, especially during the hours you least expect it, while you're asleep. It's tempting to believe that if you're training hard during the day and eating well, you're doing everything right. But that's only part of the equation. What you do in the final hour before bed and how your body responds throughout the night has a profound impact on whether you retain muscle, build it, or begin to lose it. Sleep is not just a passive state. It's a biologically active period during which the body repairs, rebuilds, and regulates its internal systems. The muscles you challenge during the day don't grow unless you provide the internal chemistry they need during the night. And if your body isn't primed for that repair cycle, it takes a shortcut, breaking down muscle tissue instead of rebuilding it. Let's begin with what happens during a typical night of sleep. As you cycle through the different sleep stages, your body enters slow wave sleep, the deepest, most restorative phase. This is when growth hormone, a key player in muscle repair and recovery, is released in the highest amounts. But here's the critical part. Your body cannot perform this function properly unless your nervous system has shifted into a parasympathetic state. That means no excessive stress, no elevated cortisol, and no mental stimulation from screens or bright lights before bed. When cortisol stays high due to late night stress, overthinking, or too much stimulation, it blocks melatonin production and disrupts sleep architecture. Without enough melatonin, you fall asleep later, sleep less deeply, and prevent your body from reaching the state where growth hormone can be released in the proper amounts. And that's why how you manage your nervous system before bed is just as important as what you eat. Engaging in a calm down routine isn't just about relaxation. It's a tool to train your body to flip the switch from sympathetic, alert, active, to parasympathetic, calm, restorative. Breathing techniques like box breathing or alternate nostril breathing can bring down cortisol and activate the vagus nerve, promoting relaxation. Even simple rituals like dimming the lights, stretching gently, or journaling for 5 minutes can shift your internal chemistry and prepare your body for deep, healing sleep. These practices may seem minor, but they have measurable effects on your hormonal balance and recovery potential. A calm mind creates a calm body, and a calm body sets the stage for muscle preservation and growth. Now let's look at nutrition. During sleep, you're essentially fasting for 6 to 8 hours. That's a long time for your muscles to go without fuel, especially when you're trying to rebuild after a workout or maintain mass as you age. The solution is targeted protein intake before bed, particularly in the form of slow digesting proteins like casein. Unlike whey, which is absorbed quickly, casein breaks down gradually, releasing amino acids into the bloodstream throughout the night. This steady release ensures that your muscles are continuously supplied with the building blocks they need to repair and grow. Research shows that individuals who consume casein protein before bed experience significantly higher overnight muscle protein synthesis compared to those who don't. The addition of leucine, a powerful amino acid known to activate the mTOR pathway, further amplifies this effect. This isn't a supplement gimmick. It's a proven scientific approach to ensuring your muscles are nourished even while you sleep. But the muscle-sparing benefits of your bedtime ritual don't stop at protein or stress management. Your physical environment also plays a major role. The temperature, darkness, and quietness of your room can enhance or interrupt your sleep quality. Research suggests that keeping your bedroom cool around 65 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit improves deep sleep, stabilizes core body temperature, and can positively affect metabolic function. Total darkness boosts melatonin production, while a quiet space reduces micro-awakenings that disrupt the sleep cycle. All of this may seem unrelated to muscle health, but it's deeply connected. Without uninterrupted sleep, your growth hormone secretion is compromised, and your muscles miss out on critical repair time. When you bring all these elements together, a calm nervous system, steady protein delivery, and an optimized sleep environment, you create a nightly ritual that protects your muscle mass and supports long-term health. You no longer have to fear age decline or overnight breakdown. You've taken control of the biological signals that tell your body to grow, not shrink. And it all begins not in the gym or the kitchen, but in the final moments before your head hits the pillow. Muscle is often seen as something you build with resistance training and protein shakes, but the deeper truth lies in what happens when you're not awake. The hours before sleep and the sleep itself are biologically active periods that decide whether you retain or lose muscle mass. This becomes even more critical with age, when the body's natural production of growth hormone and anabolic signals begin to decline. If your pre-sleep routine and nighttime environment are not aligned with your body's repair systems, you risk not only slowing muscle growth, but actively breaking it down overnight. This isn't theory, it's biology, and it starts with understanding what your body needs to shift into a true regenerative state. The nervous system plays a foundational role in this process. During the day, your sympathetic nervous system is dominant. It's responsible for keeping you alert, focused, and responsive. But at night, you must allow your parasympathetic nervous system to take over, the branch responsible for healing, digestion, and recovery. The problem is that most people enter the evening overstimulated. Blue light from screens, mental stimulation from work or social media, and environmental noise all trigger stress responses, increasing cortisol levels. Elevated cortisol disrupts melatonin production, which is the hormone responsible for signaling that it's time to rest and repair. Without enough melatonin, you delay deep sleep, and with that delay comes reduced growth hormone release. This is one of the core reasons why so many people wake up tired and depleted, even after getting enough hours of sleep. Their brain never entered the biological state required for full recovery. Calming the nervous system is not optional. It's a nightly priority if you want to preserve or build muscle. Breath work, light stretching, and shutting down screens at least 60 minutes before bed are effective ways to downregulate your system. Practices such as nasal breathing or slow, controlled exhalations have been shown to activate the vagus nerve, which directly communicates to your body that it's safe to rest. A calm nervous system isn't just about better sleep quality. It's the foundation that allows your hormonal system to do its job correctly, including the release of growth hormone and the orchestration of tissue repair. Then comes nutrition, the biochemical fuel for this entire process. Your muscles are built from amino acids, and those amino acids need to be available in your bloodstream while you sleep. Since sleep represents a natural fasting period, your muscles may go hours without the raw materials they need to recover. That's why slow digesting proteins like micellar casein are so effective when consumed before bed. Unlike whey, which digests quickly, casein provides a steady release of amino acids over several hours. This ensures a constant supply of fuel for muscle protein synthesis throughout the night. When combined with leucine, an amino acid that triggers the mTOR pathway, the signal to your body is clear: preserve and build muscle even while you sleep. Clinical studies have consistently supported this approach, showing enhanced overnight muscle synthesis and better strength recovery over time. In addition to nervous system support and protein timing, your environment shapes how efficiently your body can rest. A cold, dark, and quiet room may sound unimportant, but it creates the sensory conditions that support melatonin release, deeper sleep cycles, and less nighttime wakefulness. Studies show that keeping your sleep space at 65-67 DFF using blackout curtains and removing artificial lights helps your body stay in slow wave sleep longer. This is the phase where growth hormone is secreted most abundantly. Even small improvements in your sleep environment can translate to significant long-term gains in recovery, metabolism, and muscle preservation. What ties all of this together is consistency. One night of optimized sleep is helpful, but long-term results come from repetition. A nightly ritual built on calming the brain, fueling the muscles, and protecting the quality of sleep gives your body the green light to repair and rebuild. You don't just avoid muscle loss, you become stronger, more resilient, and better able to adapt to stress, training, and aging. The pre-sleep hour is your most overlooked recovery tool. Use it right, and your body will reward you night after night, muscle fiber by muscle fiber.